this in as practitioners, you're not going to get notebooks pre-done for you. That's the only way you can understand as it moves from your brain down your arm onto your keyboard. Yeah? Anyone with issues of those two libraries? I had to pick those two because I know that's what you all have. I could have used other imaging libraries like Scikit Image or OpenCV, but those ones could be very large and sometimes cumbersome to install, and people have issues. And whenever you want to make rapid progress, you have to ensure that you have the same tools that everyone probably is familiar with. But you could still apply the same concept with those other libraries. Okay? Now let's get the second cell. If you had gotten in the first cell, that should not take you even a minute to type in that. Let's have the second image cell, sorry. What we're doing in the second cell is we are reading from disk our image. Let me just refine this a bit further so that you see the line numbers of each cell as well. So, and we assign whatever the contents have been read into a variable we call img, right? Anyone with a problem with that?
I'm fine.
You're fine. I will be asking some of you to share your screens with us. Is there anyone without NumPy and Matplotlib on their machine? Those were the first libraries you probably installed when you did Python. So I expect you to have that. Then I will run this cell. I'm now on cell number 3. I have not run it yet. Now I want to view what has been read into variable image, which is img. I can run, that's how you view the contents of image. You should find something like that, which was distributed by Tapiola. Who couldn't download that file?
I have an error myself.
You have an error on what? Maybe it's just a typo. So you just have to ensure that I think Don did a splendid job. You can type the name of the library a little way and you push the tab key, it will autocomplete for you. So that quickens up the process, isn't it?
Hello.
Yes.
Can you kindly share the code? We are behind.
I don't think I can do it that way because we are just starting right now.
Mine is giving an error.
And this is how I would want it done, and that's how I do it so that you understand it. If I just give you the code, you're just going to click cell, and then you'll just be seeing something you can't even articulate. So by actually typing that, at least something is getting into your brain. That's how I do it. So I cannot share with you the code because it's a pitfall where students won't even attend and they just run. There's a lot of code on GitHub as well. But usually it doesn't make that sense unless you actually do it by hand. How many of you are having trouble with that? We are just on the first 2 cells here.
My second cell didn't run.
Which one?
It's giving an error.
Can you put it on can you share your screen?
Okay, let me share.
Is that Fazai?
No, it's Leslie.
Leslie, please share your screen because maybe it's not you only. There could be others having the same issue. Then we iron them out.
All
And
right.
that is expected. Yes.
Yeah, mine wasn't running. I realized it was a typo.
You did solve your problem. That's important.
Can you see my screen now?
Okay, just explode it a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like this.
that's better.
Okay. I realized I put an N here. So when I
So
click
it's
this,
a typo. I know most of the time it's typo.
all right.
That's one. Did you name CART as capital letters or it was small letter?
It was capital. It's capital letter. Type here.
Okay, if it came as capital letter, fair and fine. That's perfectly all right. Thanks, Leslie. We like this kind of interaction.
Mine is not running from the first cell.
From the first cell, so it means you don't have NumPy. Do you know how to check? Okay, can you share your screen?
Okay.
The rest of the class, you're okay, isn't it?
No, mine is not running.
Same boat.
Some of us we haven't.
I'm okay. I just
Now,
wanted
if you
to
don't
check
have the machine, I can't help you on that one.
if in Python. So does it mean it's not case sensitive? Because I actually used the lower case for my.
It is case sensitive.
But you managed to
The
look
file
like
name is case sensitive. You have to type it in exactly as it is done. Okay, can you explode your screen, Spear? We want to go right to the top because it's the top that is an issue, isn't it? You had an error, so you cannot proceed if you have an error. I can't see your screen, so I'm just
I've tried to expand my machine, my screen. Sorry.
Control plus. That's how you expand.
I see image. You said imagine, not image. From Matplotlib import.
You mean here?
That should be image, right?
It was not imagine. Of course, it should be image.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just typing. Those are typos. And those should not throw you out of balance. If you happen to do that, these things happen. Even for the seasoned, they do make this mistake. So you just have to look. If you looked at the error message, they've told us where you're getting things wrong. That's why
check the third line. You ping. It's saying ping.
It's not ping, it's IMG.
Yes, that one.
But like I said, you can call it anything. If you had used ping everywhere, it will still work.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
You
just
said it's not ping, it's
PIM.
MPIMG.
Yes.
That's how I have it.
M.
Just use the ping that you've used before. It's fine. Just remember that you used ping.
well,
Yeah, you can actually run the next one and it will work.
mine is not working, sir.
module
Guys, if I have to teach you how to type at your level,
It's not about typing.
Let's have something a bit more academic.
Yes.
Just look through your code and see that you have the right. I think
I am read
capital cut, capital CUT instead of small letters. That's
It's
C,
I am
capital
read.
U, capital T. That's what was downloaded. That's what you downloaded, isn't it?
Yes, capital U.
Capital
On
U
your
as
read
well.
line, you type the IN read instead of M.
Image read, I am read, yes, exactly. You will find the same I am read in Scikit image and in OpenCV. There's always that I am read, so it's standard.
Okay.
So put I am read after mping dot I am read. And then run that. No, cat is also caps all of it. Or yours was like that. Okay, fair and fine. It was ready.
Thank you.
No error messages. We can make progress now.
Yes, sure.
What about some of us who code that's not running?
You have, I'm not anywhere close to you. If you don't tell us you got a problem, those who raise their hands, I asked them.
I said
you just
so.
have to ensure that you are getting the right, you are not having typos in it. I think it's mostly typos, isn't it? Is there anything
There are no
difficult here?
typos.
Did you manage to run, did all of you manage to run the first cell for importing the libraries?
Yeah, mine
No.
did. Mine worked.
Who couldn't? David?
Mine worked.
All of,
Yeah, I'm asking for
except
help, but
David, I
no one
think.
seems to want to help me.
Yeah,
David, share your screen on that camera.
present so that the group can see.
Share your screen.
If you show your screen like what I did, I got help.
Oh, okay. I will share because I had this one. Who was the last one? Spiro, I think. So let me just share my screen, of course, and then we should get back to business. Okay, there's my screen. That's what we need. Some of you had put a different name here, so you just have it's case sensitive, and you have to do it precisely like that. So now let's visualize the image that we've just read in, and this is the one I had. I took it on I think Saturday or Sunday. And that's how it's something similar to what you have. And we are going to do some slicing of this image the way I want it. And it just dawned my mind that I have to use something which is a bit less, more complicated than standard. So when I click on the third cell, that's what I see. I guess you all seen that. If you have typed in that. Who hasn't gotten cell 3 right? Okay, if you don't talk, I'm not seeing you because I'm having one screen here. Then
What's the gray for?
what's important?
What I say?
Sorry?
What's the gray for?
We can move ahead. Sorry?
Gray in line 1, cell 3.
It's just a way of giving more parameters so that you don't see something funny. I can remove it if you like.
No, don't.
Look at
I'm
what you
just
get.
asking.
Yeah. Let's see. It's nice to see what happens, isn't it? Oh, this one it comes on the same. Yep, that's perfect. But it's got more greens. I think sometimes it comes with a tint of green. So if you just say CMAP stands for color map.
Okay.
Equals to gray. So that sometimes help, but this is still perfectly all right. Now let me have the shape of the image. Do you see that? What's the shape? Can somebody call out what I'm having in the shape? Tinashe?
It's 832 1331.
That's from your image.
That's from my image. Yours is
Great.
201.
Okay, that's the resolution of your screen. The first value you see, which is an index 0, is the height. If you look at the image, you see it goes from 0 to something above 700, isn't it? Up to this is the height, right? Inverted. because of the way the computer displays. And then the next value is the width. So at a glance, I can quickly tell the resolution you have on your computer, which is like what Tinashe just called out for us all, isn't it? And you may have it different there, right?
Yes.
Any issues with that? You need to understand this. Then the last number on my screen, this 4, that's where you got the channels, RGB, red, green, and blue. And this imaging software actually includes a 4th one, which is the alpha value of the how dark or light the color is. So if I take, for example, the smallest unit that can represent data within your image is referred to as a pixel. I think you have heard about that. Who doesn't know that? The intersection of any point, your X value and your Y value, at that intersection of these 2 points, that's where you find your pixel, the height and the width, right? And on that width, on that intersection, you would have, in this case, 4 values. RGB in the alpha value, which is how dark or how light that color is, or that pixel is. Now, if I want to see the actual contents of the image, I can simply run IMG. You see what I'm getting? I have an array. Now from NumPy, that's where we get arrays, isn't it?
Yes.
I hope I'm not confusing you here, but this is straightforward. So an image is just as good as the spreadsheets that we are already familiar with, the way it stores data under the hood. That's how the data is stored. And then how do I know the dimensionality or the size of my array? I can always tell that I've got the X, the Y, and some other values. Instead of having 1 value, I actually have 4, which is this, at that point. So each one of these inner brackets is stored, is data stored at any intersection, the X and the Y of the image, which we refer to as a pixel, right? You're going to do this, don't even worry about much of it, but you will be doing this, and it's quite a long thing. Yeah? And then this imaging software, it gives it to me as a float, but I cannot really tell when I'm looking at a figure like this. It's convenient for the computer, 0.88235, 0.88627. I can always rescale all the data within this array by using this technique whereby I multiply my array with a scalar value, which is 255. So this is scaled from 0 to 1, but I want to scale values that range from 0 to 255. So if I do that, I will end up with something which is a bit more meaningful than the floating point, which is convenient for the computer, but not so convenient for me. So I'll run this cell. If you can type that in, please run it. And now we are on a scale that we can all understand, the decimal scale, integer scale even. And the pixels are ranging from 0 to 255. 0 being the color black. That's what it means. If you've got 0 as your pixel value, that color is black. And 255 being the color white. So I can roughly tell whether I got a dark image or I got a bright light image by simply looking at those numbers. Yeah?
Okay.
Anyone with an issue here? It's clear, isn't it? Then because there's a point, it's still a floating point. I can convert this to an integer on the next line. So if I run that, let me just display the array as well image. After I convert it to the type unsigned integer 8, then I get that. You see now it's integers. Any question? Are we happy? Can we handle images?
I'm loving
We
this.
should. We will. And we are going to do so. Then the next cell, that should be cell number 9, sorry. Yes, I've just minimized this. I can minimize that by just clicking on this when it appears like that. Then I will see what is next. If I want to scroll, I could scroll. I want to see what is the type of this object. NumPy. So the same NumPy you had in your first few courses is the same NumPy we're dealing with right here. Yeah?
Sorry.
Yes?
I think, can I please have
You want to come back here?
Yeah.
There we are. It's UINT 8, number 8 in quotes. Let me just expand the screen a bit. It could be too small for you. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone who's drowning, anyone who's been left behind?
Sorry, sir, you said the UINT 8 stands for what?
Unsigned integer of width 8 of 2 to the power 8. That should be 256, isn't it? Push on your calculator 2 to the power 8, or I can do it there for you. So that these things make sense, and when you now start seeing them, it's not like it's anything new, right? And the beauty about Python is you can actually do it within your notebook itself. Anything that you'd want, it's a calculator in itself, isn't it? That's 2 to the power 8, but because in Python we start cutting from 0, this one you subtract 1. Then that gives us the 255 you see. So wherever you have 255 in our scaling, that used to be a 1. Those other values that we were seeing, 226, 242, they were a weird decimal point number, isn't it? That we couldn't really decipher, isn't it? I think it's easier for us humans to work with these integers than what we see before. Yeah?
I have a question, sir.
Yes.
We had said, can you go up a bit?
You want
We
me to
had
go
said
up
the
like
data
that?
type is unsigned integer 8, right?
Yes.
Then at the bottom, why are we getting data type is row 32?
Let me see what we have done. Image. Whenever you do a multiplication like that, you get a data type which is float.
Before
For you to
multiplication,
get for you to get the unsigned integer, you need to assign whatever you have like that, and you change the data type to unsigned integer, and then it displays this, which is different from that. This has got a point. This one does not have a point at the end of each value or number. And it tells you here D type is equals to float 32. The D type of this one should be unsigned integer 8, which is what you defined up there, isn't it?
yes.
Are we together?
Sorry,
sir? It will make a difference when you're now doing your machine learning. You may be required to actually know these data types. And when you are scaling, I think Doc it was yesterday when he was talking about scaling. When you are scaling, you don't want to give your machine learning model integers like this. They don't scale well. They will take a lot of RAM, unlike when you use the float. We are just doing this for convenience so that you see what those pixel values mean. Yeah, someone in the person.
Sorry.
Yes.
I did run the code that we ran there. The IMG is typed URNT8, but
okay, let me pull this one off.
Zeros.
Okay, let me pull this one off. And
No,
then
I can't share my machine. I'm working from the phone. But
if you're working from the phone, you see the size of your screen. I don't know how large your screen is. It will be too small. This kind of work is better done on a big screen. As I'm talking to you, I'm actually using a TV which is 42-inch. So I have a computer connected there, and I'm a distance away from the TV because it cannot be very close. And that's how it's. Whenever you do imaging, you need to have a big screen. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense on a tiny screen. That's now a tool issue.
Understood.
Hello, sir.
My question is the array that was returned by that code. There are zeros in one.
Yeah, it's perfectly all right. The one is the 255.
Oh, okay.
The zero is the zero. It's absolute. 255. And in between, you've got other range of values. So your range of pixels range from 0 to 255. You've just scaled it by 255, where it used to be 0 to 1. So when you multiply with the scalar, Doc had a slide on that when he talked about scaling yesterday. That's what he made. This is where the multiplication of your array, that or data frame, whatever it is, it could be data frame from Don or Eric and array. They are serving the similar purpose here. So whatever you have in that matrix, you're multiplying with the scale, and I think Doc was actually hand writing all that. He did quite a bit of some work yesterday for you.
Hello, sir.
So 255
sir.
being the scalar value, which is going to multiply each and every value within your array.
Sorry, sir,
Hello.
we were having some background noises from other guys whose mic are not.
Okay, let me go
All
and see
right.
what is there.
Hello, I've been trying to.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, the protocol is, unless you want to talk, mute your mic. Because that's when you start hearing background noise. I can even hear children from behind. Yeah, daddy's in class or mommy is in class. Yes, but just mute your mic so that when you have that, you can only hear me, but you can't hear what's behind. You are such a large class at nearly 70 people, isn't it? Dumisani, I think I asked him on Saturday to mute his mic. I thought he always wants his mic on. Dumisani Magoche, please can you mute your mic? Yeah, you know where to mute it, isn't it? It's this thing here. You just click on it. When it turns red like that, it means it's mute. So we can't hear what's happening behind you there. You only be hearing me and maybe your own background to yourself, but not the rest of the class. Yeah, David, are you the one who was talking? Your mic is on. David Nyoni.
My mic is not on, sir.
I can see it's on here.
I just put it on right now to respond.
Okay. So let's be muting the mic. So who was having an issue?
Okay, that's me. I wanted to. Yes. I wanted to ask if you could scroll back on the code. I missed out maybe line 4.
Okay, no, that can easily be done. We'll go back. You want line 4, cell 4. That one.
Okay, yes. You can go below. Okay.
Okay, for those who are joining now, please, I don't think we have to wait for you. We started on or even a bit late, so we want to make as much progress as we can, isn't it? I know we are all getting tired. Some of you are committed, very committed. By the time I came, there was about 30 people already in class. So for those who will be coming late, you just have to find a way of things. We can't be going back and forth, isn't it? Class, Evelyn, that's good protocol, isn't it?
Fair enough.
Because they'll keep on joining.
Yes,
and
it
we
is.
cannot be delayed in making progress by people who had been late. Meantime, we agreed yesterday what time to start. Yeah?
Okay, sir.
Okay, great. So the rest of the class, you see an image is just like a spreadsheet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Correct.
Is that not so?
It is.
I thought it's been demystified for you, or you knew it already. I'm saying the obvious.
I didn't know.
We did. I know the bulk of you wouldn't have known. It had always been like that with the previous group. So we're trying to make you catch up. Okay, great. Now it's just as good as a spreadsheet, and we can handle it pretty much the same way. Now, someone asked the fact that this is interactive. I actually believe that more learning happens where there's interaction. Unlike if I'm standing here and I'm just talking to you like in a sermon or just sermon, you name it, and then really you can decide to shut off your mind or you can decide to interact with me. And I actually encourage it for you to interact with me directly. then that's when we can iron out wherever there's issues that may have been overlooked. You may sit there thinking you are alone in what you don't know. Meantime, half the class probably don't know either. So let's interact. Okay, here we go. Now, I want to show the RGB, the shape, and then do the image show there. It's still the same. And the essence of this, I would want to slice my image down, right? If you had an image similar to what I have, I'd want you to slice off the top of the image. Because of the resolution of my computer, I am slicing it from the top is the height, isn't it? From 0 to 250. If I slice it to 250 somewhere here, isn't it? For my screen that you are watching, right? Depending on the resolution of your computer, slice it to about midway, the top row and the bottom, the second row. In my case, like what you did yesterday with Don or Doc, you will have to specify the upper limit. And your upper limit is my upper limit is 250. Depending on the resolution of your screen, it may be different. But in the end, I would want to just see the top row of the students or resource people in this class, which is just that. You see what I mean. Then to do so, there it is, from 0 up to the upper limit of 250 for my screen. For your screen, it may be different because you don't have 720 as your height of your image. If it's 720, fair and fine, use that. If it's not, just estimate. And remember that value because you are going to use it again to get the bottom portion. So we'll have the image top, and this one means, the column means just check everything in there, all the rows and columns, and the other column means check everything in there, all the rows and columns. Yeah? I'll do the slicing, and you should do the same and call it image img_top. It is sliced my image. Those are few characters to type. I don't think we should even have trouble with that. Anyone with issues there? And what we are slicing is this image that Tawanda was kind enough to upload for all of us. And then let me display the image top, which is what has been sliced. Look at how it looks. Isn't that nice?
It is.
So in machine learning, you're actually going to be doing this, albeit in a different way, but you'll be using the same concept, exactly the same concept. You can even do even more sophisticated stuff. Yeah?
Yeah.
Any question or anyone who's not following?
Hello, maybe say, can you repeat all the columns? Line, that is line set S. What does that mean?
Okay, I get it. He's saying he doesn't really understand this. But we start from here. Let me just put the shape there once more so that it makes more sense, isn't it? I'll put image dot shape. That's my original image, yeah? That's what I get. I know I've got 3 values. And if I take image, I know I've got 3 opening brackets and 3 closing brackets. So all you are doing here is you are taking this image and you saying in the first position of the image, how far do I want to go? Which is what I mentioned here, that you'd have to go up to somewhere in the middle of the first row and the second row of the people in the Google Meet, right? And from my estimation, I can see that 250 will about slice it the way I want it. So I'm stopping on 250. And this is the 250 for this value, for the first entry, which is the height, isn't it? Then on the next one, I don't want to slice anything. I just want to go the whole way through to the end. I just put this colon. That means go right up to the end. And then on the last one, I'm also equally taking everything. So I put another colon, and that will take everything. So what I'll end up having is just the top part, because I've specified the limit to which I want to go to slice my image, which is to 250. And I'm counting, 0 is at the top, is inverted because of the way the computer prints, right? Unlike the way it should have been the other way around, isn't it? But when it starts printing from the top going down. So it's always the 0 start at the top. For this library, if you have your own library, you can even invert it and make it print from below going up. But it will be a tall order, isn't it? Do we all agree in what we have just done here now?
Yes, I get it. So we are slicing the height and the width.
Yes.
Yes.
The height. Yes. And the width. We are not specifying a limit to the width. We are taking everything right up to the end. That's why I put this column. It means take everything in that row right up to the end. Don't stop anywhere. And that's this one for the row, which is that. And for this one, it's take all the entries within the pixel or within the height and width intercept. That's where you get those 4 values, these ones here. Yeah? Great.
Understood. Thank you, sir.
Great.
Sorry,
now we have displayed, yes?
Mine is blank. It's coming out, but it's blank.
Can we share your screen? Because really you all need to do this. Otherwise, those models are not going to come out without knowing this. So I'll ask him to share his screen. Your name is Albert?
Yes.
Okay, Albert, can you take the floor?
Well,
Evelyn has got her mic on. Protocol. Let's see where you sliced. Can you just maximize your screen? Maximize it, maximize it, maximize it. You have 750. And the image top, let's go up the way you display the image. If we are looking at the same file. You put gray there, remove the gray and you just image. Yes, plt.info, is that IMG? Can you blow it up a bit more?
This one.
Yeah, just zoom in your screen. It's still a bit small, I think. Yeah, that's IMG. plt.info, that, yeah. So you can run that. Yeah, that's what you have. That's why it's showing us that whatever you had done before, you must have done something before. So you can just reread your image on line number 8, cell number 8. Run that and then run display the way it was. It should show us the contents of that image. And then now run your slicing. And then show the sliced.
Oh, okay.
You're correct. You got it. Obed.
So the gray was.
Can Obed explain to us what he had done? Because I think he was busy running some commands and then he got another image in memory, because whatever you have in memory is what will be displayed. If you go further down, because he was ahead of everyone else, he was playing ahead, Albert. I know you did that, isn't it?
You removed the gray.
No. I want the class to benefit. Please go back and to show us. There's nothing wrong with you playing with that. It's good, actually. I actually encourage that. Isn't it, Evelyn?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you need to go ahead. If you're ahead of others, please just go ahead. If you run code and you now want to rerun it and then it gives you the wrong result, it probably means that you have changed whatever variable you had in memory. And that happens a lot. Okay, you may have even deleted WinTime thing. That's why you took it offline. It's clever. Okay, can you show us what is below your screen?
Sorry?
Can you show us what is below your screen? What gives us that blank thing?
Oh, what I did, I didn't remove the green party that you initially put.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
But it should have still showed you something. Whatever was displayed there was supposed to display. Anyway, that's beside the point. I'm glad you have seen the results. And then let's move ahead to the next one. Albert, you can stop your presentation. Thank you. I will proceed.
Sorry.
Yes.
It's failing to run.
Notion.
Yes.
Can we see what you have?
It's okay.
How far had you gone? Can we see your notebook, Notion?
Can you see it now?
Are you on a phone or you're on a?
Can you see it now?
No, I'm not seeing it.
I'm on a laptop. You're not seeing anything. I'm on a laptop.
Yeah, if you're on a laptop, the rest of the class wants to see where you're having issues.
Can you see now?
You need to go to present now and then take over the floor.
That's where I am. Yes. It's okay.
That's where I am. But we are not seeing anything. Is anyone else seeing anything from Notion?
Not from my end.
No, sir.
No, nothing.
None of it.
There's nothing.
He hasn't gotten the technology to work for him. You need to click on present on the bottom right of your Google Meet and
Yes,
answer yes to share your screen. Then we'll all be able to see what you're having.
It's fine. I think it's just taking. It's slow, but
it's taking time. Or it could also be a result of the internet connection. We do have problems. I think you are aware, and we have to work within those parameters of the problems, isn't it?
It's okay.
Leslie was asking yesterday whether the self-driving cars should be in a very ideal environment where everything is spot on, isn't it?
Yes.
Was that Leslie? Actually, the objective of this is to apply the technology to where you are, unless you want to be in the States. But even the States is really drummed up. I'm sure you know it. Oh,
okay, it's okay.
I got them lost. No, there's nothing. Yeah, now it's coming, Takunda. Yes, there you are.
It's fine. From line 14,
can you
I got
just
this error. Name show is not.
Name show is in small letters. You put a capital I there. I can see from afar.
It's a capital I here.
PLT.show. Then brackets after the show. PLT.show. Remove the bracket after the dot.
Remove the brackets.
Yeah, and then put it after the show. Opening bracket and close the
Open
bracket.
and close
it
bracket.
Won't work. You need to put brackets there. Yes. And run it. There we are. It's doing something now.
Yeah, it's doing something.
So it's just a simple typo.
And then on the
Also
last,
I think your computer also has got less memory. Maybe it's a Core i3 or something like that. So definitely, yeah, there it is.
Okay.
So it was just a typo there. Okay.
Let me try and slice this one. Okay, this one.
It will work. It can't work because
there's a typo error again.
What are you slicing? Notion, if I could ask, what are you slicing there?
Oh, this picture.
You need to put img. Whatever variable is there is img equals. I think img top equals. You are slicing img. No, don't put it there. That one is okay. After your equal, you're supposed to put the name of the image you want to slice. And you just put brackets, which are just hanging. They are not doing anything there. Yeah?
Equals img.
So put img before the bracket. Type img. Yes, like that. Now you can slice. You can run that one. That worked, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now you can even show it to the rest of the class.
Okay.
Okay, I'll ask you to do this. No, don't type there. I want to show you a trick which the class would also equally learn from. We know we displayed the image above. Now we want to display the image we just sliced, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you just scroll back to where you display the image above? Slightly. Yes, there. Okay. It's okay like that. Can you scroll it down a bit? Yes, like that. So that I have a blank cell where I can just put a backspace there. What's his name? Notion. Remove that blank and put there. Yes. Now highlight cell number 19. All of its contents. And then drag and drop it in the empty cell. use your mouse button, click and hold, and place it in the empty cell. Yeah, they release your mouse. You see what happens? And now all we need to change is to add image underscore top on image, isn't it?
Okay.
Are we agreed, guys? Are you seeing this?
Yes, we are following.
Yes.
Okay, now go to IMG in the cell you are not yet run. You have not yet run the last cell you copied into.
Yes, I'm in there.
No, you are on the previous one. That one we are not interested. The one that is no line number, cell number in it. Where there is IMG at the end of the first line, within the bracket.
Okay.
Place your cursor after the G of that. And then push underscore and tab. I think Don did very well on that yesterday. Underscore and then tab key from your keyboard. It's taking long. Normally it's supposed to autocomplete, but this machine looks like it's very slow. So you just need to type top there, or it is auto-completed by itself. So it was taking long, but it auto-completed, or you type. Now run that cell.
Wow, thank you.
Well done, Notion. Can't you clap for him, guys? He did well, isn't it?
They are jealous.
They are jealous. Well done, Notion. This class is benefited. Okay. Now, you can stop your presentation at the bottom right there, Notion. Thank you all. And then I'll continue. Okay, so I have to take you back to the screen. If there's anything you learned, I'm sure you may have learned something out of there. It's not always getting the notebook. It's this interaction where the learning actually happens. As far as I see it, and you'll never make the same mistake in future, isn't it? Now, if we take the shape of the image top, which is the one that we have sliced, I'll run it here, and look, now it has got an upper limit of not 720, but what I specified when I was doing the slicing, isn't it? But the rest are the same. Now, it may be important for us to actually look at the distribution of the pixels. Yeah? What is the distribution of the pixels? And for us to be able to do that, we can ravel. Ravel means just remove the structure which is there and put everything in a one-dimensional array. That's what ravel means there. So if I run that cell, that's what it's going to do. And then if I look at the image, I can tab, it will give me everything. That thing, the one I need is this one. I just press enter. You got that from Dawn yesterday. Then I do that. I now realize that it's still the same data type, but now I have just one opening bracket and one closing bracket enclosed within my array. Meaning all my pixels have been flattened into one dimensional array. If I do shape, this is why I think you can always type this in, because you type once and you can always copy and paste the way we are doing. What do you see? I'm only seeing one value now. Those are the number of entries in there. If you want to check how far true this is, you multiply this by that, by this, you get that. Yeah? We can cross-check it, and you'll see that I'm largely correct. What I had before was 250. You will have something different depending on what you type. 250 times 1280 times 4, isn't it? Is that correct? Sorry, I don't need to put that on. You see, that value is the same. Yeah? You are going to make sense of this when you are now designing your models. You'll be using that. Yeah? Okay. If I want to take the first entry, just this, which is the height of my image, I can do this to it. Image top, index what? Actually, it should be the shape, sorry. Dot shape. Index what? That gives me the first entry within my shape. And those dimensions are important. When you're now doing machine learning, you need to know that. If I want to take the second entry, Tinash, if I want to take the last entry, what do I put? Here.
-1.
Great. -1. That's a generic way. Whenever you hear last, please don't start counting, because that array can be so huge, or that data frame can be so huge with millions of records. By simply putting -1, that's last. Okay? That's it. Of course, someone could have said, would have counted 0, 1, 2. If you did that, we say you are still learning how to walk. It's still fine, you haven't gotten it wrong, but the moment you are now getting experienced, we expect you to do the 0, 1, if you say 2 there, 0, 1, 2, it should give us the same answer, isn't it? Who answered that question correct? Who gave me the right answer of -1?
Leslie.
Leslie, because I was not seeing you, I'm using one screen. That's great. Fadzai.
Thank you.
If you had put 2, it means you are still walking, because I think Doc emphasized it yesterday that sometime you can have a real big data set, or it was even Dawn, yeah, it's Dawn. You have a real large data set, and you don't need to do a count to see what's the last position of this data set. The moment you just have your data set, you say -1, it will give you the last. -2 will give you the second form, last. Do you want us to do it that way? Someone wants to know the second position. You are now counting backwards. I think we did that on Saturday with Doc. If you say -2, that's the second from last. Whether you had 700 records, unfortunately, we only have 3 here. So you would always get the second from last. So when you're counting backwards, from the back of your array or data frame, you are no longer worried about 0. You would know that the last one should be the first, isn't it? The second from 1, then you don't do these zeros and you name it. Okay, great. Any question, comment? So now I have to demonstrate another concept here. We may just want to know the distribution of the pixels. How are they distributed? From the top image that we have done. So that's the command. If you just say plot histogram, you'll get something like that. I can see there's more white, but there's also some black in there and gray, because it's shading towards the beginning, isn't it? I said 0 means what? Black. And 255 means what?
White.
White. So those are your colors that you have. But these may not be good enough for us, because we are just using the standard number of bins available. And what bin means is you are adding up the frequencies. This is a frequency distribution. You are adding up the frequencies of the pixel values that are within that array and summing them up. So you can see towards 250, you got more than 500,000 pixels that were counted by the system for you. And towards the white, you can see that we are about 450,000 pixels within that bin. How then can this summarizes a lot of data, and actually it can distort your data if you look at it this way only. So what you may need to do is to say, for those who are between the age of newborn babies and 5-year-olds, I'll count them in one group. From 6-year-olds to 10-year-olds, I'll count them in another group. From 11-year-olds to 15-year-olds, that will be a different group until you get as high as you want. You can even specify it as a list. It doesn't necessarily have to be a value. In my case, I can say, okay, let me take equally spaced 25 bins, and you see the profile of that would change. Look at that. There's no more detail, isn't it? Where otherwise these two could have been in the same bin, they are now separated. It means you've got more information now, isn't it? from 50 to 25 it was 1. Let me see here. From 50 to here, but it has been split, and now I have more information from 25 to 0, isn't it? Because of this peak. Can you see that? Here I have 1 peak. There now it has been separated. These two were, I think, joined together. 25 and 50. Now they're 2 separate peaks, isn't it? That means you are having more information, just like these two. Where you were once getting fewer data, these ones will never have appeared. They've been lumped down into 1 and things like that. So that's where you utilize bin. It's very important to be able to use bin and be able to come up with something that is meaningful. Any question, comment? The command is that one. This is the basic library list that we are using here. So it shouldn't be very difficult for any of us. Anyone who's drowning, I think that's the term Doc uses. Anyone who's drowning or has been left behind. Right? Okay. Now I am going to ask you to get me the remainder of the image. We got this together from our original image. I now want you to slice the bottom part. 1. When you slice the bottom part, I would want you to slice this one as a square in the middle here. Just this one. Yeah? Take out that. And that's what I want to see from what you have on your screen.
Can you come again, sir?
And that's for you to do now, isn't it? Instead of starting from 0, you are going to start from, I'm even giving you the answer. So I want you to get me the other half, the other portion, that was the remainder of what you slice out. You get that one right. I confirm that you know it. Then I would want you to slice out, maybe I can make it even more complex. I would want you to slice out just this one. Then I'll give you an exercise to slice out this, that, this in a checkered way like that. That will really demonstrate that you know what you're doing, all right? So I'll give you, I think it's 2000 hours now, 2011, or we could have a break, about 5-minute break, just to reflect. It's important to reflect. And I hope you all revised what we covered yesterday and also what we did before the day before yesterday. That way you always come refreshed to take up the new challenge. Unlike if you're not revising your work, and it will take you maybe just an hour or 2 to revise, and then you'll be much more vexed than if you didn't revise. Okay. So the time is, let's say it's 12 minutes past 8. At 20 minutes past 8, I would want us to show me what you have done. You have a small 5-minute break, 8 minutes, 3 minutes, you should be done. Anyone with a question, hello, comment, hello, suggestion? Yes, Tawanda?
I missed the explanation for the ravel.
Okay, I want you to slice the remaining portion of the first top thing that you sliced out first. The remainder, such that if I take the top and the bottom, if I add them up, I get my original image. You get what I mean?
No,
Is that
sir, I
difficult to
meant when you explained what ravel means.
Ravel is when you flatten your array into a one-dimensional array. Whatever number of dimension it has, dimensionality it has, you are now just flattening it. If it was a 3x2 array, you are now saying I want it as a 2 times 3, which is what? 6x1 array. So the dimension will be 1. Okay? You have it in one row. It's not coming as a spreadsheet with X and a Y. It's just on the same axis. You have flattened it. All right?
Yes.
Is that clear to everybody? Tawanda asked a very good question. Ravel, it means what? And you are going to do it in your in the machine learning exercises you have. I'm sure Doc told you, he may give you individual and group assignments. And please, you won't be doing yourself justice if you simply go and copy. You have to do it yourself. Yeah? Okay, cool. Now I've added another 2 minutes, so I have to extend the time by 2 minutes. Or 3 minutes I added. So at 25 past, let's come back with some answers. And I will pick on anyone that I want from the group. And please don't leave the group because there's an exercise. Are we learning anything, you guys?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Evelyn is.
Yes, we are.
Farah is. I hope you are.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Yes.
Great. So let's have it at 25
we are
past.
learning.
Yeah, you are going to Timmy. That's great, Captain. So let's get it done. You can have a short break, stretch your legs. It's important. Sorry, I took a bit of a marathon. I should have taken a break after about 1.5 hours or 2. Okay. Is there anyone who's drowning? Are we getting it?
Hello, sir.
Is there anyone who's drowning who can't see the light?
I managed to do the bottom,
Oh, great.
but the mic is not. Yes.
Yeah, no, we'll step you through, and in about is it 3 minutes?
Okay.
We will all step you through. No one reached out to me that they are drowning. So since you don't believe in feedback, I have to solicit for it. But you see in the light, isn't it? All of us, David.
Okay.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah, I'm seeing the light. I would love to present when we come back from the break.
Great. So you see, there's already a volunteer. Good. Taurai, what are you saying?
Okay. Maybe I'm just heading forward. What if one wants to match the two?
If it is the same size.
Okay.
And that you're probably going to have, and you're actually going to do it yourselves. Yeah?
So let's say if we, like in this example where they in the same shape, is there a way of merging the two?
No, the dimension, if you say 720 by 1280 by 4, those values are what we refer to as the dimension of your array. They have to be of the same size. You cannot add anything that is of different size. If you have to multiply, I think Doc did it very well on Saturday. He actually was demonstrating on a whiteboard by hand, and I was like, he's actually taking all this time to do this for you because he really wants you to understand, isn't it? The manipulation of that was, he said matrices and vectors. You remember?
Yes.
I was actually in that class. If you don't notice, so you cannot say he didn't do it because I was in the class myself on Saturday afternoon.
Yes, I saw that one.
You saw that one, isn't it? So that the theory you already have, and you're now having the practice of actually how to make it practical, isn't it? That's the essence of all these things that we're doing here. Is to practice now, so that now when you get your assignments, you actually know precisely what to do.
When we come back, I'd like to volunteer the last one.
Leslie also, I think she got that one. So that's encouraging. If people are volunteering, you're not I know progress has happened when people volunteer like that, isn't it? And that's very encouraging. But I notice Leslie, she's always volunteering, so I won't even come to you. Yesterday you answered it. There's a lot more people who don't answer in this group.
No, it's because I don't know. That's why I volunteer.
Oh, really? And that's
Yes.
a good strategy, actually. When you don't know and you get highlighted, you understand it even better, isn't it? Than be hiding behind there and we don't even know what you know or what you don't know.
Precisely.
Yes, so that way you are bound to learn faster and quicker as well.
I've got a question.
Yes, Christy.
If you look at the syntax here slicing, I know the last column, we are step. So does it mean we can also use step slicing?
The last column, what do you mean? Let's be talking the same thing here.
Okay. Isn't it before the first column, maybe X?
The first column, the
start
first
position.
Column,
then turn up the next column, but after the comma, sorry, turn up end position, but stop it. Then after the last one.
Can you just present and show me what you have so that everyone else can see? Christy?
Sorry?
Can you just present so that everyone else can see what you mean?
Okay, it's fine.
In your live notebook.
It's okay. So can you see my screen?
You have to click on present now for us to be able to see it.
So I think it's okay. Sorry. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right.
Can you just explode it a bit? Can you zoom it up?
Okay.
Control plus.
Yeah.
A number of times so that it gets bigger and bigger.
Now.
Yeah, that's okay, isn't it? So which one is the last column?
Okay, I'm saying, if you look at this syntax here.
Yes.
So we have this
on the left of the equal sign is a variable.
No, I'm inside this. Okay, where my cursor is.
Yes.
I'm saying this part is the start position.
Yes.
And this is
the one here first is the start position. Yes.
Stop.
Yeah.
Then here now this one. My understanding is actually when you are doing slicing of the arrays, it says the step, you can indicate the step here. So I'm saying for images, do we use it or it's just here because we're using the slicing?
No, whatever you've learned before is correct. I get what you mean. Whatever you have learned before is correct. Let me put this in perspective. That was a very good question, even. You can stop your presentation and I'll start mine and explain further. So what he's saying is, I know you must have read from somewhere that, which is correct. And I may have taken a shortcut, and I wanted to put it in perspective for him. The same thing that you showed me is, I'll take, for example, mine, the top one, isn't it? Let me create a new cell there for demonstration purposes. And then I'll take this there. And I will image top, I'll call it them for demonstration. What I have here is, if I look at the shape, I got 1 comma and 2 comma, right? So there's 2 commas in there, meaning when I'm slicing, I should equally have 2 commas because that's the shape of my array, right?
Okay.
And how do I know that? If I take, let me say, if I take the image, I should see 3 opening brackets and 3 closing brackets, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means I have 3 items that are being recorded as a unit, right?
Okay.
So what does that mean? If I'm now slicing, I should be able to say, if I do this, without even putting that figure, that number, the top limit, the colon means take everything. The alternate will be to put 2 colons. Means what comes there is the first item, the beginning, begin, step, and end. Yeah? So for convenience, we assume step is 1. So we don't need that. And begin, if it's beginning from 0, we don't need that either. So instead of having colon, colon, and end, we don't need that either. And that's what you saw, isn't it?
Yes.
From my example. It's a shortened way of like shorthand, because really, the moment we start putting all this longhand with the typing that we've been doing, we won't make progress. I think that's the idea. Yeah? Then you just put the end, and this is for the first position. You are not yet on the second position or the last position. The second position is this with this value, which is the width. And we are just interested in the height for now. And then in the last position, there's 4. The last one is the alpha value or the luminance value from 0 to 255, depending on what. If I want to exclude the last value and just take RGB, take note of what happens. I'll put -1 there. I've already sliced this one. I won't take all the 4 elements, but I want 3 only. And then it will take everything up to and excluding the last. That's what this means. And then if I put this as that, let me just do one thing at a time. I have to check out that I reduce that number to 3. And if I run that, it does something. If I say shape, you'll notice that it's different shape now. What do you expect to see is the shape? Sorry, I should have said shape there. What do you expect to see?
So it's a 3.
You see now I've skipped the last value and I now have the shape of 3. Meaning I'm taking RGB only and I'm excluding the alpha value. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So I've already sliced within the these items. I'll show you there when I do this. You see, there's now 3 items there instead of 4. And the shape is telling me the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's.
Are we agreeable on this one, all of us?
Yes, it's making it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
It's smart, isn't it, what you can do? And you're simply using NumPy. So when you're now feeding data into a GPU, this is what you'll be doing. So that you have parallel processing happen. You will be organizing your array into some vector or some dimension that can fit the processing of your GPU in parallel. Yeah? Now, if I want just the top to the 250, I'll do the same here because I want just the height, and I know that the height comes first from 0 to 720, and I'll say the 250 there, and I want just the 3 elements without the 4th, and it will be done. If I take the shape of that, you will see that it won't be 720, but it'll be something by 3. 250, that, and 3. So that is worked. Great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you satisfied?
Yeah, now I got it. I wanted the explanation for the last part there. So I got it from what you said. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Mudzidzisi wabaya.
Yeah, vanenge va disappear.
It's done in.
Vakatodza kubaya sei wedhivha ngokaita kuvagadzirira saizi yavo yeansa naLeslie kuda kuvanyepera kuti kwanzi yei kusaziva Leslie inda uchidaro iwo.
Alo kusaziva kade ichitoitira nditodzidza ipapo.
Yeah, so for now, Leslie, I'm not going to pick on you. Let me pick someone different. I see some people have disappeared. This is what Doc was saying yesterday.
They're tired.
Let me cite the last part.
Which last part?
Of the image, of maybe from Justin of getting the.
Yeah, we now want to go to the small exercise I gave you. Yes. And I'm going to give you another one to do for the rest of tomorrow until evening.
It's okay.
So let me try that one. I'll tell you what to do. I'll give you the instruction. But for now, I think I'm happy with the progress you're making, all of you. Let me pick up someone of my choice. Leslie, sorry, I know you will get it, and I've seen you've been doing it. Let me ask someone else who has not contributed here.
Hello, sir.
The lucky one. Yes, Kudabash? Or it's Notion?
So, before you had disappeared, I had a question.
Yeah, my link somehow lost the connection. I don't know what had happened, but it reconnected.
Okay, I just wanted to ask if we slice the RGB and specify maybe just one, we will be doing color separation or.
What do you mean by color differentiation?
Like
I'm
if
just
we
picking up-
instead of specifying, like we had the dimensions, we had 4 dimensions for the last entry of our array, specifying the RGBA. So if maybe we specify just 0 to 1, are we just getting the reds only?
No,
and
you
you specify
can't.
1 to 1.
Yes. If a color image, usually the first position is R, then the second position is G, and the third position is blue, which is B. So R is red, blue, and green. And the systems, depending on the software, sometimes it can reverse the order, but you have to check with the documentation how the red, blue, and green are represented. Sometimes it's BGR, but the RGB is the most common one. So if you want to pick up just one color, you can pick one of those and make the rest 0. Let's say you want to pick green, you can make red and blue 0, right? Then it will just pick the green colors only. If you want the blue, you invert the colors and remove the green and the red. It will give you blue. If you mix the colors, that's when you get the spectrum of colors. But anyway, I think we are getting things. I see the group is actually getting less and less. Let's demonstrate that maybe the people leaving now, they don't want to contribute and they think they may just be picked up rather than Simba or teacher. This is teacher, isn't it? He doesn't want GTJ. Is he in? Oh, whatever is happening. Okay. Michael? Tinashe, yeah, but I'm pointing at him. I know he doesn't have an answer. That's why it's so quiet. Okay. Michael Siziba. For the sake of progress, Leslie, do it for us.
Okay, the last one.
Yeah, present. The exercise for the bottom portion.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Can you see my screen now?
I can, yeah.
All right. So this is what I did for G to get the G.
Okay. What you need to do is to take us where you did the top first.
Okay. So it's the top.
Yes, that one. You use 790. Okay,
yes.
Good. Now we want to see the second part.
Unless I didn't understand, the last part said you wanted to see the bottom, so this was my bottom.
That's the bottom part.
Yes, that's the bottom part, like the third row.
That's perfectly all right.
Okay.
But you need, I think you did other things. I saw that 790. It means where you put 1500 for a start, you should put 790 there. You're now starting from 790. Isn't it, class?
Yes, it is.
And then the rest should stay the same. If you run that and display your bottom part, we will actually see the bottom part, not the top, because the top I've done it for you as an exercise.
Okay. All right, but my bottom, I put 1,500 here.
Why?
Now it's showing the bottom.
When you gave me the -1. Well, I was very impressed.
Okay.
So this is how you tackle it. 790 there.
Yes.
Where you are deleting, that's where 790. The rest should stay the same. You don't need to enter anything more. Isn't that class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just run the
and then just run that.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
And then it automatically gives you don't have to remember anything, whether it's 1500. Who knows it's 1500? You just go to the end of the file.
Okay.
Or end of the array or list.
Okay.
So the end is not so important unless you were advised that you should end at such and such. If you are going to the end of the file or the array, or the
I think it's because I understood the question differently, because I thought you wanted just the last row, not the last two. Okay.
No, I want
now I understand.
The remaining part of the total image.
Okay.
Which is what is there now.
All right. Then I went to this part. So we maintained the 790.
Leave that for others. Leave that for others. I want to leave that for others. But you've done it very well. I'm happy about that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You picked up the middle one, isn't it?
Yes, you had told us to pick up the middle one.
Let's pray for her. She did well.
Yay.
Some of you are even getting jealous, like what Don said. Look at that. Yeah? Great. Thanks, Leslie.
All right. I'll stop sharing.
Anyone else who had something different?
Yes, I have something different.
Farai, yes. When you say different, is it on interpretation of the question or doing something different as of an answer?
As of the answer, I didn't add.
Okay, share your screen. Farai.
Okay.
Quick, we are about to do other things now. Like Doc says, we can go forever, but we know you've been at work and you now want to do a bit of this private learning. And
can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so instead of hard coding that height value, I then to slice to get the shape for the first slice.
Can you just explode your screen so that we can see more? I can hardly see anything there. Yes, maybe one thing at a time, like that. Yeah.
Okay, so the first image was this.
Mm-hmm.
We slice the height up to 250.
Mm-hmm.
So now on the remaining part, we just want to slice from that 250 up to the last value of the height.
Yes.
So I had to check the height from the sliced image, which is this one. Then up to the last, then the remaining is
dot shape 0 precisely. So if you can understand that nesting is fair and fine, but it works exactly the same way. He hasn't hard coded. All he did was he didn't want to put the same value that he had used before. Now he can simply reference it. And it will think. So if you are writing code, what that means is you only enter that variable once, and then whatever you are going to do, if you can deduce it by formula, do it like that. Yeah? So that's sustainable coding, isn't it? You don't want to go down and be doing the same thing and entering the wrong values and getting them wrong, isn't it?
Yes.
And that can go in as a variable into your code that I want. You can even use a percentage. of the image instead of actually hard coding a value. But I had wanted you to actually see what those values mean as you utilize them, isn't it? My colleague is in agreement. He nodded his, I think. So I think we did well there. Can someone else show me what they did if they did it differently? But solution-wise, it's exactly the same. When you are starting, you start by crawling, isn't it? Then you stagger as you try to walk. Then you walk, then you run. And then you start staggering again, and then you go backwards, isn't it? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so Farai was actually running. We were still walking, yeah? But we had the same result. We got from point A to point B in no time, all right? Great. Anyone else who can share with us? Okay, now, if you're happy with this, what I'll give you is a parting shot is I want you to get me, you're presenting, of course, let's see. I want you to get me, let me see, there we are. From your original image, we've got a block of 9 elements. I want you to get me a checkered slicing of just this person, T, that person on my screen is Dr. Turing, this person, whoever that is. Your screen may have something different, like a checkerboard in a sense. That person and that person, and that will be my parting shot. So if I get data which take out the people in this diamond shape, I'm okay. How about that?
So will that be one image?
Yes.
That looks pretty hard.
Listen, that's what you're gonna get when you do machine learning. There are patterns. There's pattern.
So it's like, can you really come again on what on the question?
Okay. Is that Brian who's asking that question, Tapio?
It's Farai.
It's Farai. Okay. Farai, I want you to take a checkerboard without these elements, which are the diamond. I just want to see the corner items in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah? When you do that, I'll be very pleased tomorrow.
All right, sir.
Clear? Who doesn't agree with this? If it's too easy, then it's not worth your time really to do easy things. We want you to sweat and to exercise that brain. Yeah? Leslie is no longer answering. She thinks it's difficult. It's not difficult. Tendai, it's not difficult. You can do it. I know you can.
I'll try.
Okay? We will all try. So that's it. I think we can call it a day for now. It's almost 9 p.m. Tomorrow we'll start at the same time. I'll tell you this, if you don't make progress on this small thing, there's a lot more to cover in your course. And from what I've done, I think the concept I've demonstrated them. Who has got an issue with the concept? In a very basic learner type environment that you cannot easily forget, and you don't even need to cram anything. Just revise those notes that you did. I saw from your notebooks that you were doing very well. Yeah? If there's anyone else who had an issue and who didn't want us to know, that's your own fallout, that's your own problem. But the rest were actually following through and doing pretty well. Okay. So I'll say good night for now.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, I hope I didn't get much.